It's time to become the best version of yourself and help others do the same. It's Monday morning and we're talking success.
Good morning, Soul family. Jordan Peterson coming at you live from our Soul Studios here in Pleasant Grove, Utah. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. It's so good to have you join me today. As always, if you're joining me live right now on YouTube, I can see you. I can read your comments. It's so good to have you. Make sure you chime in so we can see your comments, because that allows us to put your name into our bucket of fun to see if you're feeling lucky today to win some of our fantastic swag items that we love to share with you, to kind of reward you for sacrificing your time and energy to be with us, to kind of kick off your week just right? So it looks like we got a great group on today. Good morning to all of you as well. What can we win today? That's the question. I know you all see this and you're like, gosh, I just really want one of those. Too bad you can't have mine. This is mine. This show is brought to you by Cinemate, as always, because it's fantastic and it's fantastic for you. But we've got other things for you today, such as this fantastic insulated Soul Naturals bottle. Ooh. It's metal. It's fantastic. It'll keep your drinks cold all day, even if you go to the beach or sitting in the sun or doing whatever you're doing. You guys need one of these guys. Next up, we have... Ooh, you know what? Usually we do the mystery thing, but today I'm just going to show you what this thing is. The Soul Complete shaker bottle. Has a little thing inside of it. You can probably hear it in there. No, I'm not breaking it. That is just how it's supposed to be. And last but not least, hidden in this bubble wrap is our Soul Vital plastic shaker as well. This one's really slick because you can see inside of it to see what you're drinking. The bright colors of our drink usually stand out a little bit for people, and they'll be like, what is that purple drink you got going on? What's that green drink you got going on? So it leads to some good conversations, because you can then have a conversation about what you're drinking, why you're taking it, what an adaptogen is, how it helps you, and just a natural marketing tool for you. So sound good? We got 3 things going on for you today. Hopefully you're feeling lucky. Love for you to win something. All righty, we'll put those back there, and we are good to go. Yes, they are fantastic. Okay, let's jump in. So as always, we love to recognize the hard work that you guys are putting in, especially inviting people to try our products and join the Soul family. So we'd like to recognize you in this little segment called Rock and Roll. Let's jump into it right now. Coming in at number 10, Angela Brucheski. Congratulations, Angela. Number 9, down in Houston, Tammy Peterson. Congratulations, Tammy. We've got Mae Flores over in Florida. We got Bertha Flores as well. Coming in at number 6, we got Miss Lydia Ferrentino. Well done, Lydia. We got Yamilka Perez coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, Anais Padilla. We've got Chris Garcia coming in at 3. And rounding out our top 2, we got Lara Magana. And number 1 for the week is Bertha Perez. Congratulations, you guys. We love to see you guys inviting people into the Soul family and doing so many wonderful things. So it's so good. For your information, our average enrollment order for last week was $209.42. Why is that important? Well, that means they ordered at least 4, 5, 6 products, and that allows them to get all the health benefits that they're looking for. Not only health benefits, but when we say health, we're talking about mind, we're talking about the body, we're talking physical, we're talking mental, we're talking emotional. And we know that the longer you're on the products and the more products you're taking, the better off you are going to be. You can really kind of zone in on what you're looking for as far as the benefits of it. Man, you get some great ones from it. So congratulations, guys, for doing that. Costa Rica. We are like 3 months away, guys. It is so exciting. As of right now, it's 83 degrees. And we're starting to get out of the rainy season just a little bit. We can kind of see it in the distance. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Today's low is 79, high is 86. I'm telling you, a 7-degree difference between the low and high. It's just paradise down there. And today is just mostly cloudy. Chance of rain, but mostly cloudy, which is a little bit of a change as we've seen, because usually it just shows rain every single day. Here's an interesting fact about the good old Costa Rica. For a lot of people who go to Costa Rica, one of the main activities or draws to go there is the zipline canopy tours. They take you clear up in the trees and you get to fly over the whole jungle as you're zip lining along, and it's just fantastic. Some of them you're kind of in a harness and you're sitting down. Others you're laying down like Superman. There's so many great ones out there. They haven't been around forever though. They actually came out in the 1970s, and they were actually invented or brought to the area by wildlife biologists who wanted to study the forest canopies without disrupting the plant and animal life. So they started using the zip lines to be able to get around without bothering anything that they're studying. And man, they've been around ever since. And there's now over 100 zip line operations, the longest of which is 5,220 feet. How long is that for all of you who know your math? It's about a mile long, just under a mile long, which is awesome. And that is going to be one of the options we have when we go in December, is going on one of these zipline tours. So it's just fun, and it's something that a lot of people haven't done before, and it's just exciting enough to kind of make your tummy feel a little bit like something's going on down there. You get the butterflies going on as you're hundreds of feet above the jungle, flying along there. It's so wonderful. You just got to love it. So good. Let's do our product spotlight now. You guys, this is one I had to research a little bit because I'm not as knowledgeable about mushrooms as I should be. I love mushrooms. I really do. I love them in every function. I love it. Throw it on my meat, throw it on my pizza, throw it on my pasta, throw it anywhere you want because I love mushrooms. So today's mushroom we're talking about is found, as always, in this NeuroIM, which is fantastic. And in this, we read the back of it and it says Mashima mushroom. Mashima, what in the world does Mashima mean? That sounds like a Japanese word, and you are absolutely right, it is. Mashima actually means woman's island in Japanese, which aligns with how beneficial this mushroom is for supporting women's health, which we'll jump into a little bit more. But this one has been revered in traditional Chinese medicine for centuries, and it has a long legacy in Japanese and Korean herbalism as well. And it's interesting, I found that it's typically taken in combination with other functional mushrooms, such as maitake and reishi. And interestingly enough, as I read the ingredients on the back of this NeuroIM, we read that we have maitake and reishi on here as well. How about it? Such a great formula, guys. If you're not taking this, you need to take it. It's fantastic. Let's talk about why this is so important. And also, it's the cool thing about this, it's an adaptogen. So there's so many good things that go along with this. It grows on like a shelf on a tree. So you'll see the tree here, and it kind of grows like a little shelf. It's also shaped like a horse's hoof. So a lot of people talk about it in that way. Some key things here, as with most adaptogens, it's great for strengthening your immune system. It's packed with antioxidants, including polysaccharides and triterpenoids. Helps to fortify the body's defenses against all the bad stuff out there, and activates immune cells, activating immune cells and enhancing their function. Mashima mushrooms can ward off illnesses and improve overall well-being, which is such a key thing with what we got going on. It also is great for helping support your liver and detox. Studies have shown that they possess properties helping to protect liver cells from damage caused by toxins and inflammation. As you know, your liver is your filter in your body. You want to make sure that thing is working correctly and doing everything it needs to do. So having herbs that help support that is such a key thing. It's also great for cardiovascular wellness. Maintaining a healthy heart is vital for overall well-being. Funny side note on that, my mom, who's a nurse, whenever we would talk about people, she'd be like, oh, did you hear that so-and-so passed away? You know, her parents' friends or whatever. And I'd always be like, oh no, what happened? And she always says, well, their heart quit beating. That was like her answer always when somebody passed away. So we know that maintaining a healthy heart is vital for overall well-being. It's kind of funny how that leads with this, but good stuff there. Certain compounds found in Mashima mushrooms, such as triterpenes and flavonoids, have shown potential in lowering blood pressure, reducing cholesterol levels, and preventing the formation of blood clots. These effects can help reduce the risk of heart disease and promote a healthy circulatory system, which is so key to everything that we got going on. It also has anti-inflammatory benefits. We know that chronic inflammation is the underlying cause of a lot of chronic diseases. And so we want to make sure that's under control as well. Mishima mushrooms have been found to exhibit anti-inflammatory properties thanks to their bioactive compounds. Regular consumption of Mishima mushroom can help alleviate inflammation and reduce the risk of chronic diseases associated with prolonged inflammation, which is such a key thing. And last, it helps to support female health as well. As we mentioned before, in Japanese, it translates into women's island. And it says this is one of the best adaptogens for women to take, supports healthy breast cells and promote normal menstruation. Being an adaptogen, it can also support the body's response to stress and fatigue. So I'm telling you, if you haven't yet, make sure you guys get this into your regime, your regimen, and make sure that this is just it's part of what you're doing because it's so good, guys. Osvaldo says, NeuroIM is a great deal with that thing that's resurfacing again in some states. Absolutely helping with the immune system, right? Always a good thing. Healthy hearts are important, Lisa says, and you would know. Somebody who's had a little bit of heart problems. Good stuff. Says that Terry Sanders says, my vet says NeuroIM was great for my dog's inflammation, which is a great thing too. I want to make sure our pets are taken care of, right? Maya says NeuroIM helps me stay focused and work more hours, and I like that. When I'm around people with the flu, it protects me and I don't get sick, which we love as well. Dolores just loves mushrooms, period. I'm with you, Dolores. Granny D, I love my mushrooms. So good, right? And Lillian says she takes it every single day, which is what it's all about, guys. Fantastic. We also have a great testimonial here as well. Says, I noticed using Soul Naturals improves my mood in many ways. I'm happier in general and have a more positive outlook on everything. Adaptable has been big on improving my mental health, staying happier, and SoulFit GP has helped a lot with mental motivation. Overall, I love the Soul products. That's what it's all about, guys. And those are testimonials that we see all the time, right? Helps us to be happier, helps us to feel better about ourselves and just put ourselves in a great spot. Wonderful. Now, as we wrap up, we have been talking about the anatomy of peace for the last few weeks, it seems like. And there's so many good things that have been going on with that. I hope you guys had a chance to read it. As I mentioned before, it's like the #1 conflict resolution book out there. And there's so many good lessons that we learned from it. One of the big things, overall messages in there, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. What was your biggest takeaway? For those of you who read it or listened to it, what's one of the biggest takeaways that you guys had, or like the underlying message that you felt like really resonated with you? Let's blow up our comments a little bit and see what your thoughts were for those that read it. If you haven't read it, we're going to cover it anyway and make sure you're taken care of, all right? But man, there's so many good things that we learned from there. Earlier on, a few weeks ago, we talked about how a lot of us spend a lot of time spending time on dealing with things that are going wrong. In fact, I showed this slide here that says, if we're looking at a triangle of what's going on in our lives, we spend most of our time dealing with things going wrong instead of spending our time helping things go right. Although if you look in this triangle of the things that are going on, there's a lot more things going right than going wrong, right? And so we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail and kind of break this out a little bit to make sure we can figure these things out. But here, reading some of your comments, it says, we need to unconditionally love people regardless of their behavior. People are people, not their behaviors. I love it. Kim Fick just bought it. Looking forward to read it. Lisa says, we may be feeding into conflict depending on how we interact with individuals. Absolutely, right? There's so many good things going on with that. One of the big things I took away from it is we need to treat people like people and not like objects. One phrase that is commonly used in the book is we're trying to get ourselves out of the box. And what they're talking about when we're in the box is that we like to look at things in a little bit of a different way. We try to blame people. We justify behavior. We get into the realm of horribilizing things, meaning that we look at things in the negative light. And we do that in a lot of aspects in our lives. And when I say we treat people like objects instead of people, oftentimes that leads to name calling of sorts, right? Have you ever been driving in your car, somebody in front of you does something that you don't like, and so you're like, oh, what an idiot, right? Oh, what a jerk. I can't believe this person's so dumb, right? We start to think of them as something outside of just a person. We think of them as this name that we just decided to call them because it's so much easier to not like a jerk than it is to not like a human, right? With a name and family and everything that's going on. So perhaps you got cut off on the freeway and you think, man, this person's the biggest jerk in the whole world, not knowing that maybe this dude's wife is in labor and they got to get to the hospital quickly. Would that change your behavior if you understood their story just a little bit more? And man, there's things that we do sometimes in our own organizations that kind of dehumanize people a little bit and make them look like objects. For instance, do we look at people as only as somebody who can order a product? Do we ever say things like, man, why aren't they ordering? I just need the volume to hit my rank. And maybe that individual is going through something, right? Other things we might say, man, I bet they're just doing this to make it difficult for me. Have we ever said that in our lives as well, with our kids, with our spouse, clients, colleagues, customers, whatever is going on, right? There's so many things like that. So they're talking about, man, we need to be able to get outside this box of looking at people as objects and look at them as people and recognize that their behaviors are different than the person that they are, right? We kind of can hate the behavior, but still love the person, right? But when we focus all the time, as that triangle showed, if we focus all our time on the things that are going wrong instead of helping things go right, puts us in a really tricky spot. So there's more to it than this. And in the book, it talked about how in this triangle, it kind of fleshes it out a little bit more. Let's jump to that right now. How do we know that we're out of the box? Well, on the very bottom, we need to obtain a heart at peace. When we start recognizing people as people and trying to look for the best in them, our hearts can be at peace, that we're in a good spot. We're treating people as they want to be treated. The golden rule says treat people as you want to be treated. The platinum rule, which is better than the golden rule, says treat people as they want to be treated, right? So recognize them as humans, differentiate their behavior from the human, right? Next up, what do? We want to build relationships with others who have influence. Everybody has influence. They have a sphere of influence, and we want to be able to build relationships with those people. And then what's the next step? Again, build the relationship. What's the next step? Listen and learn. All these are great skills to have that will help you in every aspect of your life. And then the top, teach and communicate. And then after we do all those other things, we put ourselves in a great spot and we have a great relationship with that individual, you can say things like, hey, if you're open to it, I've got a suggestion for you. Or have you ever thought about this? Or have you ever tried this? Oftentimes we lead with that. And for people who don't have that relationship with us, what's our usual reaction when that happens? And you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know me, right? You don't know what I'm going through. And so we want to make sure that we're putting ourselves in a really good spot to build those relationships. And then at the end, if we need to correct, let's correct it, right? And but afterwards, let's show more love than we did even beforehand to keep that relationship going on, right? Wonderful. Rachel says our customers are more than customers. Absolutely, right? Rosa says, I know that people are struggling with money and that holds them back from ordering more. I just want them to feel better, right? Maria says, people are people, not objects. Need to treat each other right as they want to be treated. We need to be empathetic. Says Rachel. Tiffany says, have empathy and do things that make you feel good about your humanness. Absolutely right. Granny D says, I am a magnet for goodness. Yes, you are. Maya says, if we focus on what is wrong, that limits us. What does not empower you weakens you. Absolutely right. So we need to make sure that we're staying out of the box. So we're recognizing people as people. And then we're going to be able to find that peace inside of us. And that naturally will draw new people in. New people that are looking for answers and the solutions that you have to help them with their problems, right? And that's such a key thing with that. So again, get out of the box, obtain a heart at peace, build relationships with others, continue to build that relationship, listen and learn, teach and communicate. And then at the very end of it, as you can see at the very top, correct when it needs to happen. But man, we can do a lot better at this all the way around. And as you can see, if we can do that with everybody, no wonder this is the top conflict resolution book, because as we put ourselves in a position there, you can do anything. In that book, it talks about a leader of an army who was warring against another army, who still never lost the humanness of the other people, and even let the people come back to the city and take their stuff out of it and whatever else, even though they were the enemy and at war with them. There's just ways to treat people better, and if we do that, we'll put ourselves in a really, really good spot. But until then, as long as we look at people as idiots and jerks and the names that we call them, we never will, right? So let's put ourselves in a great spot. All right, guys. And that wraps up The Anatomy of Peace. If you have not read it yet, I recommend it. Listen to it. It's a quick listen. It's only 3 or 4 hours, so it's pretty quick if you want to get into that. Sound good? Alrighty, guys. Now, let's see who is feeling lucky today. We got ourselves, we'll keep that right there just so you can remind yourself that NeuroIM is fantastic and you need it. And then we'll also put this right here so you can remember that Cinemate is fantastic and you need it too. Ready? Here we go. We've got ourselves the Green Soul Naturals insulated bottle. We've got ourselves the Soul Complete Protein Plus, and we've also got ourselves the Soul Vital. As a quick reminder to you, we've got our back to school package going on right now. There's a $15 savings built into the price. If you haven't got it yet, get it. It's fantastic. Share it with others. Let your customers know, your members know, so they can use it as well. Post it on your Facebook page or Instagram and let people know that there's a great way to save a little bit of money to get these products at a better price, right? Awesome. Maria says, I was about to follow up on a customer on her soul needs, then found out she had an emergency surgery and knew it was better to keep the conversation on showing care for her and not on placing an order. That's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. I love it. All right, who's feeling lucky? Satinka says she's feeling lucky. It's fantastic. Southern California missed out on being washed away, so you must be feeling lucky, right? All right, here we go. The winner of the green bottle is Lisa Tucker. Lisa Tucker, you're feeling lucky today as well. She raised her hand, and by golly, she did. And I think, I can't prove it, but I think there's a strong correlation. I don't know if there's causation, but there's a correlation between the more you comment on this and the more you win, right? Some of you may say, yeah, right, I comment all the time and I never win. But I'm telling you, I think there's a correlation there. All right, here we go. Next winner is Osvaldo Rivera. Osvaldo, you're one of my steadies. You're there every time from the Treasure Coast. And look, you won. I'm telling you, there's definitely correlation. Definitely correlation. All right. Here we go. Jody says, my husband says I can't bring another soul tumbler in the house, but I need them all. Jody, we might have to take care of you right now. Let's see if you're feeling lucky. Because golly, we want to make sure you're taken care of. And if you're not buying it, what can he say, right? Just takes care of you. And the winner is Maya Flores. Maya Flores, you have won the last one, you guys. Man, it's so good to have you here with me today. I hope you guys have the fantastic rest of the week. Today is August 28th. You've got a few days left of the month. For those of you trying to hit goals or whatever, keep at it. A lot of good things happen at the end of the month. People are getting back into the routine with kids going back to school. College is starting soon in most places. So it's going to put you in an easier routine to make sure you can continue to hit those goals. But as always, keep sharing soul. We sure love you guys, and we'll see you again soon.